What's going on, guys? Continuing to learn more about hair transplants on this channel. Today we're gonna analyze another hair transplant case from one of my subscribers. He sent me an email with some pictures and he's unsure, how well it's done. And he's actually worried that the transplant might not be, done properly or well. So he's actually planning ahead for the second transplant already, even though he's just about 1 or 2 months after his first one. Anyways, it might be a really interesting case, so let's dive into it. Oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do it right now if you want to be educated on hair transplants and hair loss. A very similar situation as you were, Norwood 5A, and great donor and rocking a huge comb over for years. Sounds familiar. As I mentioned, he had his first transplant about a week ago, actually. Probably more, considering this email was sent. Sorry, I'm really bad at replying really quickly. Hey, I'm doing my best. 3,012 grafts, out of which 364 were singles, and overall graft to hair ratio of 2.554. Wow, 2.54 is actually pretty damn good. It's way above average, and basically what it means, the more average hair per graft you got, the more density you're gonna achieve. There was a second procedure planned 10 to 12 months from now to cover the rest of the mid-scalp and crown area with similar around 3,000 grafts. Yeah, sounds pretty much exactly like me. I will be curious to see how it's gonna turn out. Okay, front part before, don't mind the hairline design, not what's been actually done. Okay, right, yeah, so yeah, it looks really similar to me what it was, before my transplant. A few hairs here and there in the frontal forelock, but like nothing behind. Although I feel like he has a little bit more hair than I do. Yeah, that's a very familiar comb over. His crown is so much better than I had. A lot of hair that are really strong and thick, and good for him. This is how my crown looks like probably after the transplant. But yeah, I can see why he's not 100% happy. I think I made a classic mistake of prioritizing too much on convenience and cost, and chosen a local doctor, although with 30 years of experience and member of IAHRS. Unfortunately, I'm not completely happy how the procedure has been made, at least not to an extent that I would like him to do the second procedure. Interesting. The good thing is that the extractions were done very good in my opinion. Also, my donor area seems to be exceptional. Hair quality and density. Man, I'm really happy for you, to be honest. Like, the key for successful hair transplant is to have, strong, thick donor area. Put it simply, the better your donor area is, the better your hair transplant outcome overall will be. Of course, if it's done correctly, to begin with. Well, if your extractions were done properly and you're happy about them, what is the problem? I guess we shall go ahead and check on the pictures. What do you think? Why he is worried about his transplant? How about that? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll give you 10 seconds to give you some thoughts and, write down what you think from this picture, why he's not happy or why he thinks it might not go as well as he would like it to go. Okay, my opinion, straight away, pops to your eyes is the pretty aggressive zigzag lines just over here. It's like they're kind of unregular, but they're kind of irregular, which is great, but they're also too sharp. Even they are irregular, it's still, you can kind of see, it's not really a great thing. Another thing is that density, it doesn't appear it's gonna be really thick. It's quite a big gaps in between, which is not really that great. Like here are, especially in the hairline, it's gonna be really obvious. And the third thing that concerns me personally, and I think he said the same himself, that the implantation angles is just look at it. They all pretty much implanted almost a 90-degree angle, so when they will grow, if everything is gonna go well and smooth, if all the grafts gonna take, they will grow almost like a 90% up, from the scalp going up. That's not really how the hair grows naturally. Here's another shot. Yeah, clearly almost like a, saw kind of effect. Not great, gonna stand out. But on another hand, the good thing is that it's not many grafts transplanted, so maybe it's not gonna be really that visible as because right now we see it more only because there's redness. Once the redness gonna subside after like 3, 4, 5, whatever months you're gonna take him, it's not gonna be as apparent. And if he's not gonna be really happy about it, it's gonna be pretty easy to fix it. Just put here and there, you know, few grafts, you know, singles, and that's it really. Because it's not like a super dense like we see in this, you know, really bad places, like doing really dense and like zigzags or like a straight lines. That looks absolutely horrible. Yeah, look, it looks like frontal third, nothing in the mid-scalp and crown, and yeah, I can tell now. So his crown, it definitely actually looks like mine. One part of the crown is kind of looks thicker and better than the other, so he's like combing the hair. I remember I was combing from my left to right, I think. Was that his donor area? Is this his donor area before transplant or after? It doesn't look like anything was been done. Maybe the quality is not there. Is some redness, but I cannot really tell if that's after the transplant. It probably there is some, you know, here some spots, dark redness. Mate, if that's after like, you know what, few weeks or whatever, or a month after his transplant, mate, this is great. Yeah, his donor is definitely, yeah, it's definitely after the transplant. Look, the hairline is done, a little bit of a temple peak here. Mate, I must say the donor management is amazing. I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen how extractions were done exactly, but the only thing I can tell is like I don't see any extractions. That's such a, you know, mate, this guy is healing exceptionally well. Like, of course, we need to keep in mind that after some months, up to 6 months, the scar tissue become a bit whiter. Right now it's kind of red, it's still healing, so it can disguise a little bit with the skin color, but when it will properly heal, it will become properly white. And you know, how white is it gonna be will depend on the individual. For me personally, my scars are super white. There is absolutely no pigment and it stands out. And by the way, I'm doing currently an experiment. I'm trying to bring them some color into them via microneedling. And if you haven't seen this video yet, I'll make sure to put them in the description down below this video. And also I'm gonna update on this experiment in June, so this is another reason for you to subscribe to the channel, so stay tuned for this, you know, video. I'm looking forward myself to see if it actually works. Anyways, I digress. Once again, donor is great, man. I'm really jealous. Even on day 4, when the hair length on my donor area was 1-2 millimeter, it was actually undetectable to the naked eye, and that anything has been done or any hair is missing. No redness, no visible scars at all. I'm both surprised and very happy about this. I have actually seen anything like it online, at least not so early after the procedure. You know what? Now everyone will be able to see such thing online. Thanks to you. Thank you very much. I don't think implantation part incisions specifically were done optimally. Potential problems that he sees. Hair angles, they might be more or less okay, but not optimal, I think. Hair sticking too upwards in the hairline area, I think, and too sideways in the small temple corners that were filled. Implantation pattern, small section of straight rows visible. Actually, I haven't seen any proper rows. Let me go back again. You know what? It's really not like, maybe you can kind of see here in like this pattern, but it's not gonna be visible, to be honest. It's not as bad as like a proper, like literally in lines, you know, like in this picture, properly like that implantation. This is absolutely terrible, and to be honest, lots of the clinics are doing this way. This is gonna stand out. The way yours is done, I'm really struggling to see rows right now, let alone whenever we're gonna grow, it's gonna be fine. Like, I wouldn't be worried too much about it. Hairline design, I think it's quite low. Is it though? It's hard to say from this picture, but I would not think your hairline is low. I would actually think your hairline is, you know, on a more higher side. I think it could even be brought a bit lower. I don't know, again, according to, you know, these pictures that we see here. And if that's the case, it's a great option to have in the future for your second transplant. If, for example, you're not happy, you want to add some more density, or, you know, decrease this like a kind of saw kind of pattern, just, you know, lower it just ever so slightly, and that's it, it's gonna look great. I understand that optimal density cannot usually be achieved in a single procedure, but even then I could have been much better, I think. Indeed, it's very unlikely people gonna be happy just with one transplant, especially with a severe baldness like yours. Especially as I had 0 hairs in the frontal hairline corners, and hair were implanted with the same lowish density as the area right behind that where I had some existing hair. Seems there was no effort made to add more density to the hairline, despite I asked specifically to pack it as dense as possible. Well, it actually really comes down to, you know, the actual individual surgeon. That's why I always recommend to, you know, dive deep into the like research, spend a lot of time, look at a lot of results of this surgeon, because every surgeon has his own like a little tiny like artistic view, if we can say. And this particular surgeon is just probably doing this, you know, this way, and that's how he's comfortable. Maybe on the second transplant he's gonna go in back there and add some more density. Maybe it's gonna be fine, who knows? Because the work, to be honest, doesn't look really terrible. It looks not the best, but it doesn't look bad. And since it was the whole strategy of 2 surgeries anyways, maybe that's how it should have been. I don't know. It really, of course, you have to speak to your doctor and discuss about it. And to be honest, this kind of thing you should have known before even booking, you know, a date for the transplant with this doctor, ideally, you know. So this is why I always encourage you guys to research as much as possible. Well, like I said, I think everything, it looks alright. The donor is freaking exceptional. I'm pretty sure not only me, myself, but all of my viewers gonna watch this video are gonna be extremely jealous, so good for you. If, for example, after 10-12 months you're not gonna be absolutely happy, it's not really that big of a deal to fix it, since you are planning anyways for a second transplant. And of course, if you manage to do it with a doctor or any other like good doctor, it's probably gonna be absolutely fine, and well, it's very likely you're gonna be happy. And hey, I probably would even actually speak to your doctor who did your first transplant and see what he thinks and what was his overall approach. Maybe it's not really that bad, and maybe his plan was all along like just to add more density on the second. Maybe he's just playing it safe to implant less grafts per centimeter square, just to make sure everything grows, you know, because there's always this, you know, thing, you know, competing for the, you know, blood supply. If it's too many grafts transplanted per centimeter square in a given area, they all might freaking die, you know, just because not enough blood supply. So yeah. Anyways, it was an interesting case to look out, and let me know, guys, in the comments down below, what do you think about this case? What do you think? This is great. What do you think of his donor? I'm really curious if any one of you had something similar, because I'm jealous. I'm gonna tell you this much. And hey, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for some more educational videos just like this one, and like this video, that helps tremendously. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.